and the Xavier Musketeers here with A&M opening up as a 4-point favorite, easily handling Washington State there. And Xavier, well, they'll come in as a dog, total of 138 here. This will start 7 o'clock Eastern time. Man, I guess Buzz and company, Drew, they're still pissed off. And I doubt very much they're going to stop being pissed off tonight here with Xavier. So who do you like in this matchup?
Yeah, Joe. I mean, first off, it's a great game in the NIT in Madison Square Garden here. I'm really excited to watch it as a fan and as a handicapper. I think there's a lot of angles to go at here. It's kind of a tricky handicap in terms of who's going to control the game, the Xavier offense or the Texas A&M defense, which has been very stifling of late. And interestingly enough, this Xavier team, losing 8 of their last 10 down the stretch of the regular season and in the Big East tournament, but they've really turned it on. Their offense is humming. And at the same time, this Texas A&M defense, very athletic. Buzz Williams' squad, you're right, Joe. Whatever they're doing is motivation. Upset that they didn't get into the NCAA tournament. I personally think they should have, how they finished down the SEC, beating a lot of good teams. But hey, it is what it is, and they're in the championship of the NIT tonight. Again, excited to watch it. And I actually, if you need to play sidewise, I think Texas A&M, their defense does give Xavier some issues. Xavier going up against another SEC team, 2 games ago against Vanderbilt. That was a really close game. Texas A&M, I think, is a step above Vanderbilt. So I think Texas A&M gets it done sidewise, Joe.
Yeah, it was an interesting game against Bonaventure, Steve. It was a tale of 2 halves in that one. Yeah. And my goodness, I think they dropped 100 points in the second half in that one. But Xavier just too much too early in that game. What do you think Texas A&M does with Xavier here tonight?
Well, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of the NCAA. I think when hypocrisy is defined in the dictionary, they could use the NCAA as an example over the years. But I do think the committee does a very good job in general of leaving teams in and out. And the SEC vastly underperformed in the tournament this year. I know too well because I had Tennessee going pretty deep. That didn't last too long. Kentucky loses outright as a 2 seed in the first round. Alabama, Auburn get bumped. So the SEC maybe wasn't as good as we thought. So leaving A&M out maybe looks a little bit better now in hindsight, even though on the surface it looked like they were probably a tournament team when the selections are being made. So I'll give the committee credit on that. I think they made the right choice leaving A&M out, but I'll give A&M credit because they didn't fold over. You always have to be careful with these teams that are disappointed, and this was a team I was very cautious with early on. But once they get over that first NIT win, then normally all bets are off as far as the letdown. They usually play to win. And you look at both Xavier and A&M, they both failed to cover that first NIT game a couple weeks ago on March 15th. Xavier won by only, 4 points as an 11-point favorite over Cleveland State. Texas A&M got a very easy matchup against Alcorn. They're an 18.5-point favorite, only won by 12. But they went 3-0 straight up ATS since. Xavier is actually just 2-2 against the spread in their 4 wins here in the tournament. They did have that underdog win, as you mentioned, against St. Bonaventure. It was the only first time they were an underdog in the NIT. I actually liked Bonaventure the other night, so I was a little surprised by that. I thought it was a good matchup for St. Bonaventure. I thought they could slow the game down. As you said, Joe, second half especially, it was a high-scoring game, 161 points. And if Xavier can play fast again tonight, their preferred style, I think they're a live dog here, plus the 4.5. I think this game goes down to the wire and it'll be close. The best way to play it, though, I actually think might be the total. Normally championship games, playoff intensity games, I'll lean towards the under. But I think this total is a little too low, actually. And I do think Xavier is going to push the pace. And I think A&M is going to play faster than people expect. Their tempo rating for the season was pretty much dead average for the NCAAs, but their offensive rating is faster than average. So both offenses like to play up tempo, and I think it'll have a quick pace here. Both teams score the majority of their points from 2-point range. They allow more from 2-point range, so I don't think we have to worry about the random 3-point shot as much. And both teams get to the free throw line a lot. So I think we'll get a lot of 2-pointers, some free throws, and it's a championship game. If it's tight down the stretch, we might see some bonus fouls as well. I like over 137.5 in this game, and I would lean towards the dog as well, plus 4.5.
All right, leaning towards the dog and the over. Dave, give Xavier credit, man. I mean, shorthanded and all, and they here they are in the final. But does this run end tonight for them?
Well, I'm just going to look at this from a line analysis standpoint. Texas A&M has been the best team in the tournament, and the betting market is clearly recognizing that. And as a result, they've pushed this line out to a point where I don't think A&M is a smart play. They might get there. They might win by a dozen. But the line is higher than it ought to be based on the relative power ratings of the two teams, including with Scruggs docking Xavier points for Scruggs being out. The value at this point, because of the way the marketplace is reacting to Texas A&M, the value is with Xavier. I'm not a big proponent of just betting value in, especially in tournament finals, though. I think you have to look at the matchup in current form. So I've got a conflict here. Current form, I think, clearly favors A&M. The line value favors Xavier. Take your choice. It really comes down to what you prefer as a bettor. If you're a value bettor, you take Xavier. If you're playing current form matchups, you take A&M. Me, I'm just going to sit the game out. I'll probably watch it, and maybe get involved in a live bet if I can see something unfolding during the game. But pregame, I really don't have anything.
Should be an interesting one, guys. Madison Square Garden, the final tonight. A&M, keep in mind, started that game against Washington State 3 of 21. And then they didn't miss. They really turned it on and found the sight lines there. So it should be an interesting one tonight as A&M looking to put an exclamation mark on the NIT winning that title.